Would Theresa Nist join new Golden Bachelor season? June 17, 2025. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Bachelor Nation News fans. Theresa Nist won the first Golden Bachelor season. She got engaged to Jerry Turner in the season finale. They married 2 months later in a wedding that aired on ABC, but her marriage to Jerry Turner didn't last long. They broke up after 4 months of marriage. Jerry Turner went public with a new romance earlier this year. Theresa Nist has kept her dating life close to the vest. She was recently a guest on the Almost Famous podcast and revealed she'd been on multiple dates with the same man. She didn't share more than that. Keep reading for her thoughts on joining Bachelor in Paradise or the second Golden Bachelor season. Why you won't see Theresa Nist on Bachelor in Paradise. Season 10 of Bachelor in Paradise will be like nothing fans have seen before. The show has undergone several upgrades since ABC pulled it from the schedule in 2024. Bachelorette alum Hannah Brown joins the spinoff as a sounding board for the contestants. Wells Adams will still be there to dole out drinks, and Jess Palmer is, of course, the host. BIP usually films in Mexico, but moved to a lavish resort in Costa Rica for Season 10. But the biggest change is the contestants. Alum from The Golden Bachelor and The Golden Bachelorette join the younger Bachelorette in Bachelor Alum on the beach. Whether this leads to a May-December romance remains to be seen. ABC announced Leslie Fima, Kathy Swartz, Gary Livingston, and Charles King among the Golden cast for Bachelor in Paradise. Others may join as the season progresses. But one person fans won't see in Costa Rica is Theresa Nist. She previously told Us Weekly that it wasn't her vibe. On the recent podcast episode, she told Ashley Iaconetti and Ben Higgins that she was in talks with the producers to join Season 10 of BIP, but she changed her mind. I realized that I was really just excited about seeing the women and having a reunion and having a vacation with them, she explained. Where she stands with Jerry Turner today. Jerry Turner and Theresa Nist ended their marriage on good terms. When they announced the split on Good Morning America, there didn't seem to be any hard feelings between them. He even reached out to her before he went public with his new girlfriend. However, the former couple seemed to disagree about what led to the end of their marriage. He has said several times that his cancer diagnosis played a role in the split. Jerry Turner revealed in late 2024 that he was diagnosed with a rare bone marrow cancer called Waldenstrom's macroglobulinemia. He had actually been diagnosed some months before, but only went public in December. He has a book coming out later this year about his time on the reality show. Theresa Nist opened up on the podcast about her fears of what he would reveal about their marriage in the book. Theresa Nist was asked on the podcast what her relationship with her ex is like now. She described it as distant. She added, "He really does want to talk to me a lot. He wants to keep the friendship, but I really haven't reciprocated." Would she join new Golden Bachelor season? If Theresa Nist won't join Bachelor in Paradise, is she done with dating shows, or would she consider joining the upcoming Golden Bachelor season? Despite the failed outcome of the first season, ABC renewed the spinoff for another season. Season 2 will air this fall with former NFL player Mel Owens as the lead. Theresa Nist told Us Weekly that he seems amazing and wonderful. But is she interested in dating him? In another altered universe, she joked about the chances of her appearing on The Golden Bachelor again. However, she fully supports the spinoff. She said that she hopes the contestants and Mel Owens learn from the first season. "I can't wait to see who these people are, and they will have learned from what we went through. So they'll have, I think, even a better experience. I'm really looking forward to it," she said. Does it surprise you that Theresa Nist doesn't want to join another Golden Bachelor season? Would Theresa Nist join new Golden Bachelor season? Inside her most unexpected chapter yet, the Westbier Returns. Theresa Nist never expected the sound of a champagne cork to make her feel nervous again. But there it was, that unmistakable pop echoing across the Napa Valley vineyard as producers began prepping for the brand new season of The Golden Bachelor. She wasn't part of the crew, not officially. Yet here she was. Invited as a guest judge for a new romantic challenge, Theresa had agreed hesitantly. A harmless cameo, a friendly nod to the past. A chance to close the chapter gracefully, as her manager said. But now that she stood on the set, surrounded by soft lights, roses, and hopeful women in heels, something inside her stirred. And not just nostalgia. The air buzzed with unfamiliar possibility. And that she hadn't felt in months. Not since her whirlwind marriage to Jerry Turner crumpled in front of millions. The AFT method. It had been a dream come true, until it wasn't. America watched as Theresa Nist and Jerry Turner pledged their forever in a televised ceremony drenched in golden light. But behind the scenes, forever quickly became fragile. Quiet differences became loud arguments. Time zones, lifestyles, unspoken grief, they all piled on, suffocating the fairy tale. They separated amicably, at least that's what they told the press. But Theresa had retreated. From the cameras, from the spotlight, from love. Until now. The call that changed everything. The call came in April. Theresa, we'd love to have you appear for the kickoff of The Golden Bachelor. Season 2, said the familiar voice of the franchise's executive producer. Just a one-day appearance. Light, warm, nostalgic. I'm not sure, she had replied, fingering the locket she still wore. Ironically, a wedding gift from Jerry. Not even to say hello to the new women? You've been there, Jerry, you know. You paved the way. She laughed. Now that's terrifying. But she agreed. She thought it was closure. It was not. Her unexpected spotlight. The moment Theresa stepped on set, cameras swiveled. Contestants gasped. One woman burst into tears and called her an inspiration. Another whispered, "If she can love again, so can I." But it wasn't just them. Theresa felt it too, the tingle in her fingertips, the awakening in her chest. Her reflection in the makeup mirror wasn't just the former Mrs. Turner. It was Theresa, the woman who once believed in second chances, and maybe third ones. Enter the new Bachelor. His name was Edward Halvorsen, a 66-year-old widower, retired Navy commander, and avid jazz pianist. Tall, silver-haired, with the kind of gentle eyes that read poetry as much as they did people. When he met Theresa during the challenge, their banter was electric. "You're the famous Theresa," Edward said, smiling. "They told me to behave around you. And yet here you are," she replied, unsupervised. The audience roared with laughter. The producers raised their brows. Was it flirting or something else? After the shoot, Edward approached her quietly. "Would you stay for dinner?" She hesitated. "Just as friends," he added. But it wasn't just as friends, and she stayed. The invitation. The next day, Theresa was scheduled to leave. But before she could head to the airport, a producer intercepted her. "We've been talking," he said, adjusting his headset. "And we'd like to extend something unprecedented." She arched an eyebrow. "How would you feel about joining the season? Not as a guest, as a contestant." Theresa froze. "That's not possible," she said. "Why not? You're single. You're iconic. You know Edward is intrigued. You could rewrite your own love story." Her heart pounded. She wanted to say no. But instead, she whispered, "Can I have one night to think?" The internal battle. Theresa spent the evening walking the grounds, remembering. Not just Jerry, but her late husband, Billy, her younger self. The years she spent defining herself by others. Wife, widow, contestant, wife again. Who was she without a man? Was she brave enough to find out? Or was she brave enough to risk everything again? She stared at the moonlight rippling across the vineyard and made her choice. The return? The next morning, Theresa walked back onto set, Not in heels, not in a dress, but in jeans and a leather jacket. She walked straight up to the producer. "I'll do it," she said. He blinked. "You're serious?" "With one condition." "Anything." "If I'm in, I'm in. But I won't play games. No edits. No artificial drama. I want honesty. And if Edward wants to pursue me, he better be ready." He nodded. The game had changed. Theresa Nist wasn't returning to the mansion. She was about to take over it. The women's reaction. When Theresa entered the living room as this surprise contestant, chaos erupted. Some women cheered. Some stiffened. One muttered, "How is that fair? She's famous." But another whispered, "She deserves love, maybe more than any of us." Theresa approached them with grace. "I'm not here to steal anything," she said. "I'm here to find something real, just like you." Tension gave way to curiosity. One contestant asked, "Do you really believe it can happen twice?" Theresa smiled. "I believe it can happen as many times as your heart is brave enough to try." The first date. Edward didn't waste time. That week, he gave Theresa the first one-on-one. A private dinner inside an old library, jazz playing softly in the background, candles flickering, red wine swirling. They talked for hours. About loss. About love. About identity. At one point, he took her hand and said, "You don't need to prove anything to anyone, Theresa. You already are everything." For the first time since her last vows, she let someone hold her hand and her heart. The fan explosion. Social media exploded. Hashtag Theresa Returns trended for days. Some fans called it a gimmick. Others hailed her as a hero. Articles declared, "Theresa Nist joins Golden Bachelor Season 2, and she's winning already." But not everyone was pleased. An anonymous blog post surfaced. "She's just here to fix her image. She's using the show as therapy. She'll leave halfway through. Watch." Theresa read every word and refused to be defined by them. The elimination twist. Week 4 arrived. Theresa and Edward were growing closer, but so were other women. The pressure mounted. One night, Theresa found a note slipped under her door. "You've had your love story. Let someone else try." She never discovered who wrote it. But that week, during the rose ceremony, she stepped forward, before Edward even spoke. "I'd like to say something," she said. Gasps echoed. "I've been blessed to have love in my life, and I'm grateful for every moment here, but I've also learned I don't need a rose to validate me." She paused, locking eyes with Edward. "I came here to heal, and I did." And then she did the unthinkable. She walked away. The finale showcare. America reeled. The Golden Bachelor lost its most compelling contestant. But in the finale, as Edward stood with his final two choices, he shocked everyone again. He turned to the host. "I made a mistake," he said. "The woman I want to explore life with already left." The crowd gasped. Backstage, Theresa watched the scene on a monitor. And then, her phone rang. A different kind of final rose. They met again at the wrap party. Edward stood alone near the vineyard, clutching a single rose. She walked up behind him. "Looking for me?" she asked. He turned. "I never stopped." He held out the rose. She took it. But instead of a kiss, she said, "Let's take a walk. No cameras." And they did. Down the path, away from the lights. Two people. No script. No show. Just love. Would Theresa Nist join a new season? She already did. But not as a contestant. As a woman reclaiming her story. And perhaps that's what the Golden Bachelor was always about, not just finding love, but learning you can write your own second act, no matter how golden the years or how complicated the past.